He's out of town.
Recording in progress.
Welcome, everyone, to the April 6, 2026 regular Board of Aldermen meeting. Would everybody please join with me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Alderman Plufka is absent. Alderwoman Tice.
Here.
Alderwoman Gold.
Here.
Alderwoman Sims.
Here.
Alderman Lockmiller is absent. Alderman Gould.
Here.
Alderwoman Harder.
Here.
Alderman Erger.
Here.
Mayor Dimmons, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda? Any objection to approving the same by acclamation? Seeing no objections, it will be so approved. Thank you. Moves us down to announcements and appointments. We have one, and that is a proclamation today for the National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. I'll just take a second to read the proclamation. Whereas emergencies that require police, fire, or emergency medical services occur at any time, day and night, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and the preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and medics is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who contact the East Central Dispatch Center. And whereas the public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are a vital link for our police officers and firefighters, monitoring their activities by radio, providing them critical information and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of East Central Dispatch Center contribute substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and medical treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher exhibits compassion, understanding, and professionalism in the performance of their duties throughout the year. Now, therefore, I, David A. Dimmitt, Mayor of the City of Brentwood, on behalf of the Board of Aldermen and of its citizens, do hereby declare the week of April the 12th through April 18th, 2026, National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Brentwood, Missouri, and honor the women and men of East Central Dispatch Center, whose diligence and professionalism keeps our city and its citizens safe. Proclaimed the 6th day of April, 2026. Brings us down to item 5, public hearing. We have a number of items, and where is Whitney? There she is. So I'm going to gavel open. The first item is public hearing on, so I can find it here. Thank you. Public hearing for a comprehensive sign plan for the veterinarian emergency group ER for pets at the property address at 2101 South Brentwood Boulevard, Brentwood, Missouri 63144. So with that, I will gavel open the public hearing.
Yes, I don't believe the applicant is here yet, so I will just present. The veterinary emergency group is doing a change of all of their signs to be vet ER for pets. Based upon the width of the building or the frontage along South Brentwood, they wanted it to be, it would only allow a 23 square foot sign. They wanted it to be the same size as the sign on the side street. And therefore that prompted the comprehensive sign plan. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval at the March meeting by 9-0 vote. And I believe the applicant just showed up.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Hi, I'm John Simon with Simon Sign, and I'm the local sign installation contractor for VEG.
Okay. Have any questions?
No? Yes, and I would like to request a first and second reading tonight.
All right. This is going to be on bill number 6598. Does that sound right, Whitney? All right, any questions? All right, anybody in the public care to speak during this portion of the public hearing for this particular matter? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing for this item and move on to the second item, which is a public hearing for the conditional use permit for a 72 square foot nail salon within the Convergence Body and Dance Building at 8040 Manchester Road, Brentwood, Missouri 63144. With that, I'll open up the public hearing.
Hello, I'm
Hello.
Jacqueline Coates. I am the sole owner and operator of Encore Nails and Foot Facials.
Okay.
I'd also like to ask for a first and second reading on tonight.
Hey, can you explain just a little bit about the reason for the request for the conditional use?
Well, I operate just a one suite, one operator, one client at a time. I am a certified medical nail technician. I see a lot of patients that have diabetes, cancer patients, people that have a lot of contraindications with their feet, fungus, lymphatic disease, and they require privacy. They don't like going to public spaces, and I kind of fit the bill for those clients.
Okay.
And as far as like foot facials, it's just a play on facials because I use mask and scrub to, kind of stimulate their legs and their feet before a massage. And that's where the facial part comes in at.
And this is, the proposal is to go in an existing building?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whitney, what's the reason for the request for the CUP, or the conditional use permit?
This is in the property zoned MC district where personal services, including beauty salons, require a conditional use permit for properties under an acre. However, review of the parking, and there is no impact on parking. They have sufficient parking on site. This is in the Convergence Dance Studio and Center. They would be taking up an office suite on the side that is used for the chiropractic's office.
Okay, thank you. Have any questions? I'll open up to the public if you have any comments to make during this public hearing on this applicant, now is the time to do so. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing for this item and move on to the third public hearing, and that is public hearing on Two Dog Fitness LLC doing business as Gateway Fitness, submitting a conditional use permit for a fitness studio facility within the tenant space at 824 Hanley Industrial Court for the property at 820 Hanley Industrial Court. So with that, I'll gavel open the public hearing. Yes, sir.
This meeting finds everyone well. I'm Mark Whitener, owner-operator of Gateway Fitness, Two Dog Fitness LLC. I am asking for a first and second reading this evening as well. I've been open since 2011, originally opened in Clayton. Small personal training studio. We do 1-on-1, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, 4-on-1 personal training, specialized to the individual. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Do you have any questions? And Whitney, same question for you that we had for the prior applicant as the reason for the request for a conditional use permit, please.
The property address is 8820 Hanley Industrial Court, is actually Zone PD, Planned Development Overlay District, which requires that recreation facilities, including health centers, is a conditional use permit, and there was no impact on parking. They have sufficient parking on site for all of the uses, and the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval.
Wonderful. Thank you. No questions from the board? Anybody in the public care to speak during the public hearing section of this for this applicant? Now is the time to do so. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing on this applicant and move on to the fourth public hearing, and that is on a text amendment establishing regulations of data centers and specify that such uses are listed as a conditional use in the LID Light Industrial District under section 400.1390 subsection C, and to include specific requirements for such uses under Article 4 supplemental regulations. So with that, I will gavel open the public hearing.
Yes, so this is a text amendment to specify data centers as a conditional use in the light industrial district and establishing regulations for that use. This is based upon a number of discussions around the St. Louis region, and so we just wanted to get ahead of it within our code, and that's why we're including it tonight. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval by a 9-0 vote at the March meeting.
Thank you. Any questions? Anybody in the public? Oh, I'm sorry, Alderwoman Sims.
I just had one question. So that means that those data centers are only, I just don't have our map committed to memory on all of the uses, that they're only in LID zoning. Is that correct?
Correct. Well, I mean, there could be small data centers that are specific for a permitted or conditional use, such as, we have our own servers here. So where it is a small center that supports just a single business and is less than 10% of the floor space, those are permitted as with the office use. This is a freestanding data center that would typically be at the larger scale and operate for third-party applicant, third.
Alderman Gould.
So all of the other districts, are they then not permitted in?
Correct.
So are they already,
Would only be allowed as a conditional use in the light industrial
but
district.
do we already, in our code, already say that they are not permitted in those, or is it just implied in that,
It's just implied,
that
yeah.
because we would list them as a conditional use here
correct.
and nowhere else, that they're not permitted? Okay.
Alderwoman Goode.
Also for clarification, so currently they are permitted and this would be restricting them, or it's just a gray area where there's no regulation at all?
Do you want to?
It's a gray area, and we didn't have a specific definition, so we would, normally you have to find a business to fit into something, so it would be a stretch under some other language, and we just wanted to make it clear. So it was kind of a gray area. We're just specifying that.
Anybody else? Anybody in the public care to speak during this public hearing portion on this applicant? If not, I will close the public hearing and move on to our final public hearing, and that is a public hearing on text amendments to sections 400.1375, 1380, and 1390 regarding the regulation of marijuana cultivation facilities and marijuana-infused products manufacturing facilities in the MC Manchester Corridor Commercial District, the PD Planned Development Overlay District, and the LID Light Industrial District, and sections 400.020, .1600, and .1960 regarding the regulation of marijuana facilities. With that, I will gavel open the public hearing.
Currently, the manufacturing of marijuana-infused products and marijuana cultivation facilities are a permitted use in the city's light industrial district. And based upon recent complaints in other communities regarding smell, we wanted to change that to a conditional use so we can have initial review at the Planning and Zoning Commission and ultimately Board of Aldermen for a conditional use permit. We're also using the ordinance to clean up where we had medical marijuana in the past to comply with state law to allow for just general marijuana dispensaries elsewhere, and the regulations for those.
All right. Any questions? Yes, Alderwoman Tice.
Thank you for doing this. I'd just like to say that this originally, the suggestion to do this originally came from a resident in Ward 1, and it went to, I brought it to Public Works and went to Planning and Zoning, and now it's back to us. But those of us who live in the furthest west and the furthest south part of Brentwood are well aware of the aroma that comes from the facility in Rock Hill. So I think this is a great addition to our code to make it a conditional use.
Alderman Gould.
The only question I had was in the language, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. City Attorney, you'll probably correct me if I am. We still are only requiring notices, mail notices to 300 feet within. It seems like this type of an application would extend beyond that, the 300 feet notice?
Yeah, the 300 feet is for every project at the Planning and Zoning Commission and conditional use permit. So we do try to rely on neighbors helping to get the word out, public working with our communications manager to get the word out, having it on our website, you talking with your neighbors. For anything beyond that that you think they would be of interest to find out. But the code for conditional use permits.
So we're just
said-
keeping it consistent with the code of conditional
Correct.
use permit? Okay. Understood. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anybody in the public would like to speak during this portion of the public hearing? If not, I'm going to close the public hearing, and we're going to move on to the meeting. Next up is citizen comments. Anybody in the public care to address the board on any topic? Now is the time to do so. All we ask is that you come to the podium, state your name and your address, and you'll be given up to 3 minutes.
It's Alice Gleason, 8312 Rosalie, and you all were so nice last time when we came. We decided to come back. And thank you, the city, who all responded. We love the new fence, the repaired fence. We're starting to get some leaves on the bushes, so it won't be as obvious right now, but definitely in the winter, that's very, very easily seen. And I do believe the lights of the two lights in the industrial court that are particularly right into our face, I believe that there has been some change on that, in which case, we're grateful. If not, yes, still there. I mean, the light in the industrial court is all still there, of course, and so that is still an issue overall. But Alderman Plufka asked a question last time when we were here about the potential of planting trees, because obviously that's one of our biggest concerns overall, is that our block has completely lost trees, which used to hide the industrial court from us. And so that's obviously there are places where you cannot, because there are now rocks all the way up to the pathway, and the pathway is there. And yet there are sections on our side of the side of the creek where the rocks are. There are sections that do have bushes and such, and some old trees, which just a few, and they're going to be going. So our request would be, can we please consider, and I've already mentioned this to Bola, putting trees wherever we can possibly do so. And even in the rock area, the opposite side of the creek certainly has some trees, and trees hold, roots help hold dirt, so I would think that would be a good thing. So that's all I think I was going to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. By the way, you're always welcome to come here, so thank you for showing up. Anybody else in the public? Do we have anybody online?
No.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll move on to the mayor's report and the alderman reports. First up is mine. A few things. First off, I'm happy to announce that we're going to be doing the mayor's cleanup again on Eager Road, and that is set for April the 17th, 2026 at 9:30. And as we've done in years past, we will meet in the parking lot at the Brentwood Promenade and Brentwood Deerbergs. Yes, thank you, Michelle. And that is in conjunction with Charlie Brennan and a whole host of other volunteers. And for those who are unaware, we go up and down Eager Road with help from our police department to provide safety, and with Missouri Department of Transportation, which provides the bags and the trucks. And we just get down in the weeds and pick up all the trash and deposit it in the bags and set them on the side of Eager Road. Then MoDOT comes along and picks them up and disposes of them. And we've been able to do this annually, with the exception of last year. And it makes a big difference for all of maybe a couple of weeks until people go and throw their litter down again on Eager Road. No, I joke about that. It makes a huge an improvement And Charlie Brennan is to be thanked because he does it not just in Brentwood, but he does it throughout the St. Louis region, in the city as well as North County and down in South County. And it's those types of efforts that help keep our areas looking nice. Because MoDOT just does not have the resources to go through and do that. So again, that's April 17th. That's a Friday morning at 9:30. If you have them, please bring gloves. If you're thinking about coming, wear long pants. And if you have boots, I would suggest you wear those as well because it get a little messy down there. Secondly, if you've been looking at the news, there have been some stories about local police departments partnering with the federal government in enforcing immigration laws through ICE. There was one about St. Charles County's made that decision. I think they're taking it up tonight, in fact, at their county council meeting. There was an article in yesterday's paper about it, a North County Police Department that partnered with Immigrations and Customs Enforcement using an agreement, I think it's called the 287-9 agreement. I have received a number of requests from Brentwood residents. What is our position on that? What we're going to do is that there are some other police departments that have already come out and said they're not going to enter into that type of an agreement. And so I have this to read to those in attendance, anybody who might be watching. The Brentwood, and this is after consultation with our chief and with our city administrator and our city attorney. The Brentwood Police Department has no plans to enter into a 287G agreement with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. If ICE were to request assistance from local law enforcement in response to a threat or an officer in need of aid call through dispatch, we would respond to ensure the safety of those officers in the community. Our department will continue to operating as it has with the best interests of the Brentwood community at the heart of our work. And finally, tomorrow is Election Day, Municipal Election Day. And the folks to my left are all up, and we're losing Alderman Erger. After the results become final, Alderman Erger will step down, and we will have a new Alderman, Mike Myers. My prediction is that Mike is going to win tomorrow, seeing that he's the only one on the ballot running unopposed. So the chances look pretty good for you, Mike. But again, I would encourage everybody, even though in the city of Brentwood we don't have a whole lot on the ballot tomorrow, I would strongly encourage you to get out and vote. St. Louis County has made it super simple to vote. You can vote anywhere in St. Louis County. No longer are you relegated to your polling place. And, many people have made the ultimate sacrifice so that we have the right to do this. And unfortunately, I think sometimes these things are taken for granted, especially when there aren't a lot of contested races on the ballot. But hopefully that's not the determining factor in whether or not you make that decision to take time out of your day to vote. So if you haven't already voted, I'd strongly encourage you to take the time tomorrow and exercise that right that is protected and provided in our Constitution. And so with that, we will move on to the remainder. Alderman Plufka's gone. Alderwoman Tice.
No report.
Alderwoman Goode.
No report.
Alderwoman Sims.
No report.
Alderman Gould.
No report.
Alderwoman Harder.
No report.
And Alderman Erger.
No report.
Brings us down to City Administrator Report, which we have nothing. Wow. All right. Drop down to the consent agenda. We have just a few items on the consent agenda. Are there any questions about any of the items? Yes, Alderwoman Goode.
I need to abstain from a conflict of interest on item B warrant list.
Okay. Any other questions? Any requests to remove any of the items? Best way to handle that?
Best way to handle it would be to pull the warrant list.
Right.
And vote on items A and C, and Alderwoman Goode doesn't have to recuse herself from that, and then vote on the warrant list separately.
Okay. Do we need a motion to remove item B?
If someone would make a motion to approve the consent agenda with item B removed, that'd be perfect.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, if we have a motion to remove item B from the consent agenda, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now,
To approve amended consent agenda?
thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. So again, you are voting solely on items A and C. Can we get a roll call? Let's see here. We don't need a roll. This voice vote is good on
Voice
this.
vote.
Yeah, everyone in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That moves us to the last item on the consent agenda, and that is item B, the warrant list. Can we get a motion to approve item 9B?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Again, you don't need a.
On a warrant list?
It's just a,
I thought on the warrant list, we had on spending money.
no. If it's been the practice, then go
Yeah,
ahead.
traditionally, we like to do it that way. Okay, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Abstain.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Thank you. Moves us down to old business, of which we have none. We'll drop down to new business. First up is resolution number 1584. Can we get a motion to approve resolution 1584?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Eric, you can come on up. Sorry. Go ahead.
So this resolution is about hiring SWT to do some redesign for the work on the Hanley Comfort Station. We did the design for the Hanley Comfort Station in 21 and finished up in 2022. Due to funding, we couldn't do the project at that time, so it kind of sat on the shelf for a while, but we thought, hey, no problem. Once we get a grant, we'll be able to move forward with it right away. We got the grant last year, and so we re-engaged SWT to get the bid documents ready. And they said, you know, we just have to go back to permitting with MSD, make sure we get all the permits, because all the permits had expired. So in doing that, they found out that MSD had changed their thoughts on one item, and the item more was to the fact that we had to raise that building 1 extra foot than what we were originally allowed to design for. That's obviously a pretty big change, and so that means that some of that groundwork has to be redesigned. Secondarily, they also, well, not they, but the board passed the updated to the 2024 ICC building codes, and we had designed prior to that being approved, so now we have to go back in and make sure that everything within that pavilion does meet the ICC building codes. So that is a change. We didn't expect that, so we are going to be over budget in this line. We are going to save money from a couple of different ways. We're either going to hold off on the Magic Bus this year and make sure it gets through another year and kind of bump that to next year. Or we had funding in the pavilion for last year and this year. With the redesign, most likely, we're going to have to move funding to the end of this year and next year, and that frees up some money this year. So either way, we have funding to pay for this. So it went to the Public Works Committee and it was approved thereat.
Any questions? Okay, so we are taking a vote on the motion to approve Resolution 1584. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Thank you. Brings us down to resolution, item B, resolution number 1585, which is a resolution approving a contract with Planning Design Studio, or PDS, to provide design services for the preparation of construction documents of new gateway monument signage. You handling that one, Eric?
I am.
Okay.
So staff was asked to get an RFQ ready for the monument signage, so that way we could have a design ready just in case there's an opportunity to get that completed. And so we went out with an RFQ. We had 5 people submit their qualifications. City had worked with 4 of them and had been very happy with 4 of them. So this was a tough one, but ultimately the selection committee chose Planning Design Studio for a couple reasons. One was that they've done some really nice sign work, including the entry sign to Brentwood Park. And then they also are partnering with 10 Group, which is a graphic design and branding firm. And we were really impressed with what the work they had done, as well as Reed Burkett Lighting, who's done a lot of good lighting work. So that's what kind of put them over the top. So they provided a lump sum total for $106,000. Obviously, as this was not in the budget, we are recommending utilizing reserves from the Capital Improvements Fund to pay for this. Again, this went to the Public Works Committee and it was approved.
Thank you. Can we get a motion to approve Resolution 1585?
So moved.
Second.
I got Alderman Tice seconded that one. Any discussion? Alderman Gould.
Can you clarify, I mean, when you talk about they have a graphic design capabilities in there and what they are actually doing design for? I know that we have an existing design that was, I guess, approved by the board in 2018.
Correct. So
Concept.
Yeah, there's a conceptual design and that was passed by the board in 2018. So it's taking that conceptual design and creating the planning documents and the bid documents for that. So all the specifications, all the bid documents that are needed. So that way, when the city's ready to have someone complete that project, it will be ready to go. So some of that graphic design is just making sure that what was the conceptual design comes forward as far as the permitting design.
But in their bid, do they suggest that they might change the concept a little bit? Like you said, they've done some other signs, and maybe we've had other signs produced since that concept was done.
The RFQ was the specifics of the RFQ was to take the conceptual design and bring that forward to bid. So there's no sort of looking at any alternate designs. It is to move forward with that conceptual design.
And then, given that we're currently considering some branding initiatives for the city, is there a reason we would need to do this now, or is this something we should kind of consider?
I mean, I know that the staff was asked to bring this forward because of an opportunity to be able to maybe get the gateway signage installed, hopefully in the near future. That's why we moved forward with this.
Okay. And then similar idea, so if we develop all the plans, we get everything, and then maybe it sits for, it doesn't get built, do we run the risk that we have a similar situation with Hanley Industrial Pavilion that we just talked about?
Mainly because obviously MSD, not MSD, yeah, it was MSD. MSD is the one who had made changes to their specifications and for their permitting. So obviously we're working with MSD's new permitting, which falls in line with FEMA and SEMA now, so.
Okay, and then is this both sides of, I know that there was, I guess the original concept had two sides of the street. Is this both sides of the street?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Alderman Gould.
I was just going to make a comment from the Public Works Group that it was moving forward, as Dr. Gould said, the 2018 designs and just teeing this up that it could become a reality down the works. So that's why it was being moved forward at this time. But the design work was all done in 2018. To Dr.
Anyone else? Okay, we had a motion and a second to approve resolution number 1585. No further discussion. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Brings us down to resolution number 1586, which is a resolution approving a contract with CBB to provide traffic and transportation engineering professional services.
In your packet, these are pretty similar. We selected 4 firms. We actually had 4 submittals. These are requests for qualifications related to traffic and transportation engineering. So we also took a look at traffic impact studies. Really, it's CBB, which is your resolution 1586. They do the lion's share of these type of services for all communities in this area. The next one you'll see is HR Green, but just focusing on CBB. We wanted to continue to use them primarily for traffic impact studies. They can do other work, but that's basically what they're used in this area.
And Dan, can you explain to the public what this means? We have them on,
It would be on call, like each
Okay.
one of these that we'll present tonight would be on call. And in the event that we need them, they'll give us a task order with the cost, and then we'll be able to go ahead and do whatever service that is. So say it's a developer and you need a traffic impact study to figure out, it's like, is this the best location for this particular, vendor?
and that keeps us from having to go out and finding a new traffic engineer
Right.
every time.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Can we get a motion to approve Resolution 1586?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Yes.
I'll say this up front because there's 4 in a row. I believe this came out of comments from Alderman Plufka a while ago to go look at it. And the idea of doing, because there'll be 4, is having 4 options if someone's overbooked, and in anticipation if we do have any major redevelopment, we're about to need a lot of different traffic studies, and having 4 on call would let us choose based on timeline and need, and also maybe other factors as needed. So that's why there was 4, just to give us future options, since it doesn't really cost us much, if anything, to have them under contract to start with.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The second of 4 resolutions dealing with traffic engineers is Resolution Number 1587. It's a resolution approving a contract with HR Green Incorporated to provide traffic and transportation engineering professional services. Same story?
Yes, this one's very similar. We have not used HR Green, but they have done some traffic impact studies for Wildwood, O'Fallon, and the city of St. Louis. And as Alderman Gold said, we can use them in the event that, say, CBB is overloaded. They just have too much work, and we're doing a lot of redevelopment in the Manchester corridor. You'd have these folks as another option.
Thank you. Can we get a motion to approve Resolution Number 1587?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we had a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. On to item the third, dealing with transportation engineers. Resolution 1588, which is a resolution approving a contract with Horner and Schifrin Incorporated to provide traffic and transportation engineering professional services.
Yeah, and this one, Horner and Schifrin, we've used in the past. They, in particular, helped us with the Litzinger Road STP. There's one in Handley Industrial, as well as Rosalie. So they have familiarity with the city. They've done traffic engineering and any kind of improvement, sidewalks, crosswalks, things of that nature.
Can we get a motion to approve Resolution Number 1588?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Now, Resolution Number 1589. Dan, you can probably sit down for a second.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not mine.
This is a resolution of the City of Brentwood, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with Robin Frankel for on-call crisis communications consultant services. Michelle?
So based on some past experience, the city established that it may be helpful to have someone on call to assist us, guide us in times of crisis or times where we could use a little bit of additional support in terms of figuring out best practices in terms of communications. And so we issued an RFQ to firms to respond to us, and we received 3 responses. We went through the evaluation process and interviewed 2 of those firms, and the committee came to a conclusion that the best option for that contract was Robin Frankel, who we have here with us tonight. And so the city would like to recommend that we enter into a contract with Robin for on-call services.
Motion to approve Resolution 1589?
We have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 1589. Any discussion? Yes.
I would just like to remind the board that this also comes out of the strategic communications plan that we did adopt, that it was a recommendation that we, you know, have these type of depth of services for the city in case we need it, so it's following that plan.
Yeah, and thank you for your work on that. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan? For the fourth, the last resolution dealing with traffic engineers. Resolution number 1590, a resolution approving a contract with Thuvino, Wade, and Mershon, TWM, to provide traffic and transportation engineering professional services.
Ian, TWM has done work with the city of Brentwood as well. They did in particular, Manchester Road corridor, they worked for MoDOT. They helped us do the SDP along Russell, and then they did some surveying that we had done for some properties that the city owned. So they've done quite a bit of work here.
Can we get a motion to approve Resolution 1590?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 1590. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, now let's get down into the bills. The first up is Bill number 6598. Can we get a first read by title only, please?
Bill number 6598, an ordinance authorizing a comprehensive sign plan for the Veterinarian Emergency Group at 2101 South Brentwood Boulevard.
Okay. You heard the request during the public hearing. Do we have any other questions? Yes.
I do. Was there a reason that you need another sign?
I just need you to go to the, thank you.
I mean, I'm just a little confused.
You mean the change in sign? They're just changing. It's a chain. They're changing their logo.
Okay.
So just for, brand uniformity.
You want it larger than the original?
So actually, the proposal is smaller than the existing, but larger than larger than code. Thus is why we're here.
Any other questions? And you heard the request for a first and second, but that takes a motion by this board to have a second read. So at this time, I would entertain said motion if you're inclined to do so. Not hearing one, so they don't. So we'll need you to come back at the next meeting to get a second read on this bill.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Bill number 6599. Can we get a first read by title only, please?
Bill number 6599, an ordinance approving the site development plan and authorizing the issuance of a new conditional use permit for Encore Nails and Foot Facials to operate a personal service nail salon establishment at 8044 Manchester Road in the Convergence Dance and Body Center in the MC Manchester Corridor Commercial District.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
And am I to understand there's no signage, because of the privacy of your company, you're not going to have any exterior signage or anything? It's just, okay, thank you.
Any other questions? And again, you heard this applicant also request for a second read tonight. If the board's so inclined, I need a motion to that effect. Hearing none, then we'll just need you to show up at the next meeting, at which time there'll be a second read, and then the board will have an opportunity to vote on the request for the conditional use permit. Thank you. Brings us down to bill number 6600. Could we get a first read by title only, please?
Bill number 6600, an ordinance approving the site development plan and authorizing the issuance of a new conditional use permit for Two Dog Fitness LLC, DBA Gateway Fitness, to operate a fitness facility establishment at 820 Hanley Industrial Court within the tenant space addressed as 824 Hanley Industrial Court in the PD Plan Development Overlay District.
Thank you. And once again, we all heard the applicant during the public hearing portion of the meeting. Do you have any other questions? And finally, this applicant has also requested a second read tonight. Anybody care to make that motion? Seeing none, we'll need you also to show up at the meeting, the next meeting in this month, which will, I guess, 2 weeks from tonight, at which time there'll be a second reading for the board then to vote on it. Thank you. Okay, let's drop down to bill number 6601. Can we get a first read by title only, please?
Bill number 6601, an ordinance amending sections 400.1375, 400.1380, and 400.1390 of Title IV, Chapter 400 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Brentwood regarding the regulation of marijuana cultivation facilities and marijuana-infused products manufacturing facilities in the MC Manchester Corridor Commercial District, the PD Plan Development Overlay District, and the LID Light Industrial District, and amending sections 400.020, 400.1600, and 400.1960 regarding the regulation of marijuana facilities.
Okay. Do we have any questions? All right, then we will take that up for a second read next meeting. Let's move on to bill number 6602. Can we get a first read by title only, please?
Yes, bill number 6602, an ordinance amending multiple sections of Title IV, Chapter 400 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Brentwood regarding regulation of data centers within the LID Light Industrial District of the city.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, we will take that up for second read on April the 20th. And finally, bill number 6603. Can we get a first read by title only, please?
Yes, bill number 6603, an ordinance authorizing an intergovernmental memorandum of understanding with the City of Webster Groves, Missouri to provide court administration services to the Webster Groves Municipal Court.
Okay, who's presenting on that?
Chris, do you want to do it or you want me? Okay. In order that the City of Webster Groves may ensure the continuous and efficient operation of their respective municipal courts, the City of Brentwood, under the terms of a memorandum of understanding, has agreed to provide our qualified court administrator and deputy court administrator to help them maintain compliance with state statutes and court operating rules. The terms of this MOU commences on March 25th, 2026, and shall continue on a month-to-month basis, not to exceed a total of 3 months, or until a permanent administrator is appointed by the City of Webster Groves. This service is provided with the compensation established at $115.09 Also, during this term, the personnel, our Brentwood Municipal Court personnel undertaking this added workload will be compensated through a temporary salary adjustment through the end of this agreement.
And you mentioned during the synopsis portion, or the background portion of it, that we have already provided personnel?
We started providing services March 25th, and we spend a total of about 25 hours a month, 20 hours, and then 5 for court night, right? That's what's in the MOU.
20 hours each week, and we did that, and the reason we were able to do that before getting approval from the board, could you explain that, please?
Is because within the code, there is an emergency clause that would allow the city administrator to go ahead and sign a document such as an MOU and then bring it back for codification to the Board of Aldermen like we're doing tonight.
And the emergency was they needed help.
They needed help. They had no one in
Desperately
in their
needed
court.
help, and so, like a good neighbor, we were trying to help them out, which we did. So thank you, Chris, for doing that. And Chantel, I'm assuming.
And Chantel,
Okay.
absolutely.
So thank you so much for helping out one of our wonderful neighbors, Webster Groves. So we do need a second read on this tonight.
Given the situation, motion for a second read?
Yes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for a second read tonight. Any discussion on that motion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. City Attorney, can we get a second read of Bill number 6603 by title only, please?
Bill number 6603, an ordinance authorizing an intergovernmental memorandum of understanding with the City of Webster Groves, Missouri to provide court administration services to the Webster Groves Municipal Court.
Chair would entertain a motion to perfect Bill number 6603 into ordinance form.
So moved.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Bill number 6603 is hereby passed and now becomes ordinance number 5223.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is citizen comments. Again, anybody in the public care to address the board, now is the time to do so. Having none, we do have a request to go into closed session tonight pursuant to RSMO section 610.021 subsection 1, subsection 12, and subsection, City Attorney?
2.
1, 2, and 12, subsections 1, 2, and 12. Any discussion on that? I need a motion to that effect.
Motion to that effect and to adjourn therefrom.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.